getting to play branding for or it's musical intro for 5 minutes while people show up is a little strange. Is a little strange. Hi, I'm parts of me are Griswold Graham, and this is a stream on the channel there. Uh, let's let's do the savings throws, shall we? You get to choose between survival, social, wisdom, or heart as the basis for your savings throw. I roll the dice. If it's over 10, you take half damage from the mind control that follows, probably between now and the next save. Survival, social, wisdom, or heart. Choose. I can drum up this and make it last longer. That's great, right? Hey! Survivalists, that's an 8. Socialists, that's a 16 for you. You're gonna be fine. Lovers of wisdom, that's a 4. It's probably not your night. And hard folks, an 18. Imagine that. Imagine that. Indigo kids, you got an 8. Um, so the stream is, as you might have seen on the card there, Saves versus Sunbeams, PKD simulation, suspension of disbelief, and regularly scheduled programming. But first, let's pull a casino card for the show. I hope everyone has been well. I've, yeah, I hope everyone has been well. Let's see, there's been a lot going on I haven't covered. Chad is starting Rando's conversations, and it seems as though Neil is manipulating Chad into letting him talk for an hour and a half, with Chad saying maybe 4 sentences. But Neil's story was pretty great, especially the hair on the end moment, the pylo erection. So much better than the pyro erection. Trash, trash, trash. My life for you. Casino card for the show. The king of clubs. The king of clubs. Um, I'm not talking particularly loud. I hope you all can hear me well. I do see your chat if I read it before it disappears, but that's we've lost too many cards of the casino deck to pull a card from that anymore. But I am using it as a bookmark now in this Herman Hesse Damien book that was gifted to me by the supervillain C.W. Weeks. Um I want to read a portion of it because it's kind of neat, and you'll probably never. It says novelists, when they write novels, tend to take an almost godlike attitude toward their subject, pretending to a total comprehension of the story, a man's life, which they can therefore recount as God Himself might, nothing standing between them and the naked truth. The entire story, meaningful in every detail. I am as little able to do this as the novelist is, even though my story is more important to me than any novelist is to him. For this is my story. It is the story of a man, not of an invented or possible or idealized or otherwise absent figure, but of a unique being of flesh and blood. Yet, what a real living human being is made of seems to be less understood today than at any time before, and men, each one of whom represents a unique and valuable experiment on the part of nature, are therefore shot wholesale nowadays. If we were not something more than unique human beings, if each one of us could really be done away with once and for all by a single bullet, storytelling would lose all purpose. But every man is more than just himself. He also represents the unique, the very special, and always significant, remarkable point at which the world's phenomena intersect. only once in this way and never again. That is why every man's story is important, eternal, sacred. That is why every man, as long as he lives and fulfills the will of nature, is wondrous and worthy of every consideration. In each individual, the spirit has become flesh. In each man, the creation suffers. Within each one, a redeemer is nailed to the cross. Few people nowadays know what man is. Many sense this ignorance and die the more easily because of it, the same way I will die more easily once I have completed this story. I do not consider myself less ignorant than most people. I have been and still am a seeker. Screw you, Luke. Hey, Spoon Man. Um, but I have ceased to question the stars and books. I have begun to listen to the teachings my blood whispers to me. My story is not a pleasant one. It is neither sweet nor harmonious, as invented stories are, and it has the taste of nonsense and chaos, and of madness and dreams, like the lives of all men who stopped deceiving themselves. And now I really wish I could play some branding. All right, saves and sunbeams. You want to save the sunbeams for last? Sure, we'll save the sunbeams for last. Next up on the card. Yeah, I bet you were, Luke. I bet you were. Uh, the PKD simulation was interesting because I watched a film called Glitch in the Matrix this evening, which centered around, it broke up a speech of Elon Musk and a speech of Philip K. Dick that he gave in the month and year of my birth, and I couldn't help but wonder if it wasn't on the very day. But that is apparently when 1977 was one of the first mentions or first serious, recent, modern considerations of simulation theory that and back in the 70s computers were so bad that it was even harder to believe. And it makes me wonder, like, what difference does it make if this is a simulation? Doesn't everything that has come before get swallowed by the nothing anyway? Uh, I mean, it's all gone. What was is no more. So, where maybe you can tell me in the comments what the difference would be if this is a simulation. I don't know. It's I don't get it. I don't get it. Um, why did you put suspension of disbelief? Because we float in one. We float in one. And why did you put regularly scheduled programming? Because that's when you first noticed, as you were repeatedly returned to the regular scheduled programming of set as you aged, that it was one of the first clues that people were being programmed, and now they are being programmed with beliefs so divergent from the ones we were programmed with, it feels as though we're an outdated model of the meaty slave labor force. All right, and sunbeams. Let's do that part. Simulation and creation might just appear to be similar, Raquel says. Oh, what was that? The mind blow video Chad made, where Harris said, where Upcycle said it's an emulation, not a simulation. I like that too. I like that too. Only because I only know of emulators as ways we used to be able to play old video games on PC without the required console because of the emulator. They emulated the console inside the programming of the PC. The same way they say that the chat GPTs hallucinate full computer models. But that's, yeah. Anyway, Sunbeams. The Sunbeams came from. I watched the King's North and his speech or presentation that they paid him to do over in Wisconsin not long after I left Wisconsin. And he tells his story about his conversion to Christianity. And he goes into this part where it's essentially when Jesus wants you, he's going to come get you. And I don't know, perhaps it's ego or perhaps it's because I sold my soul when I was 10 and I didn't know any better, or perhaps it's from calling the Holy Spirit juice and I did the unforgivable sin in my Pentecostal days. But when Kings North told me his story, or told the story of his conversion, and also again a little bit when I heard Neil's experience at the in the Catholic Church that he describes so well in the conversation with Chad. Um, Jesus don't want me for a sunbeam, clearly, or he would have come got me by now. Maybe, maybe I've been trying to play for the wrong team this whole time. This whole time. But I am still alive. I'm I'm not myself anymore. The person you've all met, I don't get to be him anymore. I have to be this other thing now, and it's a miserable, horrible thing full of hate and and I don't know, resentment for being born, really. And I guess maybe that's something I have to work on. Um, yeah, but yes, I'm still alive. I'm sorry I haven't been able to. Without the branding, this is so much harder. So much harder. But I'm still here and still very grateful that for everything that's come these last 4 years, where I've tried to think and talk and share and just process. I, it doesn't keep the roof over the head. uh, I don't know. I just wanted to. I mean, people are like leaving me messages say, "Hey man, if you need to talk, I don't, talking doesn't really change much, guys. Life is what it is." But there's a twist in there, Emily says, in this book that I'll eventually read. I am a chapter deep. I am a chapter deep. Whoa, Lance, thank you. Thank you. Wow, that makes me want to stay streaming even longer. I have nothing. Um, oh, what may be of note is we're approaching the 13th constellation, which many of you probably haven't heard of. It's like called Ophakus, I think is how you pronounce the name of the 13th constellation. Check it out, though. I think you'd be interested. We're about to enter it, and I think that may be relevant uh, to things. We all grew up trying to figure out what everybody else had figured out, but we've been in deeply, deeply unprecedented times for humanity for the last 30 years or so. And uh, did you have a point? No, no, it's just that I don't know, we come into it, and we assume that all these people who have been here for so long have things figured out and know what's going on, but we sort of have to acknowledge that we're beyond that now. The solar flares that recently have come through could have been a giant EMP that knocked out our ability to be this for each other. The king should be sponsoring the Joker, perhaps, but I'm not as funny anymore. I'm not as funny anymore. Um, but no. People have been asking me if I need to talk and if I'm okay, and I'm not outside. There's still food. I'm employed now, just like everybody else, and I've had to face that, like, just because you're one of the people that grows up with the non-standard first drafts of family and or 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 raised without any male role models really to shape yourself into what a family needs, or it was too hard. It was too hard to try and be one of you, these people that are happy. and and so I don't know. I thought maybe that meant that um, my life got to be different. That that it was okay for me to not to try to be like you, and that that would lead me somewhere someday that would make all of the, like, decades of not wanting to be here worthwhile. But maybe that was just a pipe dream. You know, maybe it was too much ego. Maybe I should just be a janitor and play video games until I die, because who am I to try to make a difference anyway? Wow, this is a fun one. So the tone of this stream is a big part of why I haven't been trying to do many of these, and it's like I'm just not. I believe in state-based consciousness. In the film Friday, it was best characterized by, like, study high, take the test high, because of state-based consciousness. And the state that I generally stream in, I no longer have access to. There's some historical precedent for me being able to stream from this condition, and I certainly will try once the PC, the computer situation has been resolved. Um, but this delusion that I don't know, that I could or should or would carve out a life that was any different than wage slaving till you die like everyone else was was clearly a giant ego malfunction. And I don't know. It, this is not. I wouldn't want to watch this. I mean, that's the big difference between streaming now and streaming before. Is at least I entertained myself previously instead of. But I am still alive, and I there's not much to talk about. Um, I am still planning on making the Pajot thing in February, assuming all goes well, and I'm gonna have a look at you. Hey, Theodore, it's good to be able to make a space for the hive mind again. And that's nice. Hey, Neil, that was a good. I really slammed you in the early part. Toots, I reviewed that and I need to edit it because there's just things I don't exactly endorse in there, and my life right now. Well, it'd be on a computer that I would be able to do that, and so I mean, you can drop it in the Discord and everyone can have it. I don't need to try and get dollars from people for it. That was way too long for me to read before it disappears, Dolly. I'm sorry. I'll go back and read the things. I think. Yeah, I hate this. Despite what's the impression you might have had from all of the streams and hive minding you've had before, I really don't like trying to get money out of people. Um, Going over it during a live stream is not something I'm gonna do, Toots. Sorry, I'm mumbling. Um, I guess I'm just sorry right now in general, guys.